Imagine a device that promises to change everything we know about smartphones, a gadget so elusive that it has become the unicorns of the tech world. For years, we have seen the rumors, the patents, and the endless concept from fans, but the silence from Apple has been deafening. While Samsung, Google, and others have been releasing foldable after foldable, the iPhone has remained a solid, unbending slab of glass and metal. But that silence is finally breaking. We are standing on the edge of a new era. The iPhone Fold is no longer just a fantasy. It is real, it is coming, and it aims to solve the one massive problem that every other manufacturer has failed to fix. However, the latest reports suggest that perfection comes at a steep price, and Apple is facing engineering hurdles that would make other companies quit. Today, we are diving deep into the leaks, the tech, the insane price tag, and the release date that might just rewrite the history of the iPhone. The biggest story right now isn't just that Apple is making a foldable. It is about why it has taken them so long. The answer lies in a single, tiny, annoying detail: the crease. If you have ever used a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold or a Flip, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That visible trench running down the middle of the screen. It is there when you scroll, it catches the light when you watch a movie, and you can feel it every time you swipe. For most companies, that crease is an acceptable compromise for the magic of a folding screen. But for Apple? Absolutely not. New reports from reliable insiders like Digital Chat Station claim that Apple's engineers are currently locked in a battle against physics. They're obsessed with creating a display that looks perfectly 100% flat when opened. They don't want a good enough screen. They want a continuous sheet of glass that hides the fact that it folds at all. This perfectionism is reportedly the main reason for the delays. While the industry expected a launch sooner, it seems Apple is still hitting technical walls. The evidence points to a release sometime next year, but these fresh leaks suggest they haven't quite cracked the code yet. They are experimenting with new types of ultra-thin, flexible glass, trying to find a material that bends without breaking but snaps back to a perfectly flat surface without leaving a memory mark. It is a massive challenge. Even the latest foldables, like the recently introduced Samsung Z Fold 7, which is a marvel of engineering, still feature those tiny creases where the hinge mechanics work. It might not be a deal breaker for Samsung users, but Apple believes it damages the aesthetics. They know that if they release a phone with a crease, the internet will tear them apart. It has to be flawless. But how exactly do they plan to achieve this impossible flat screen? The secret seems to lie in a proprietary, synergistic approach. We are hearing that Apple isn't just slapping a screen onto a hinge. They're rethinking how the metal plates inside the phone interact with the glass. The leaks describe a system where metal plates work in harmony with variable thickness glass to control how stress is distributed. When you fold a piece of paper, the stress concentrates at the fold, creating a crease. Apple is trying to spread that stress out so the material never actually creases sharply. It is a game of microscopic precision. What is particularly telling is the comparison to Samsung. Even though Samsung uses similar metal plate technology, their latest devices still show a seam. This implies that Apple has developed a secret sauce, some form of precision engineering in how those plates contact the glass substrate that Samsung hasn't mastered yet. This is classic Apple, taking existing technology and refining it to an extreme degree. And the innovation doesn't stop at the support plates. The display panel itself is shaping up to be a technological beast. Samsung Display is reportedly building a bespoke, custom panel exclusively for Apple. This isn't off-the-shelf parts. This new panel combines touch sensors directly into the display layers, a technique called in-cell touch. Why does this matter? Because current foldables often use a separate touch layer, which adds thickness. By integrating it, Apple can decrease the total thickness of the display structure by roughly 19% compared to conventional components. A thinner display is a flexible display. Fewer layers mean less weight. Real to bunch up and wrinkle, which reduces the mechanical stress areas that cause creases in the first place. It also creates a more solid structure that resists deformation. So you get a screen that is thinner, stronger, and hopefully completely flat. Then there is the hinge. If the screen is the heart of the foldable, the hinge is the skeleton. You cannot have a premium feel with a squeaky, loose hinge. Apple is going all out here, planning to use liquid metal components mixed with titanium and stainless steel. This combination is designed to deliver a nearly crease-free folding experience. Liquid metal is fascinating because it offers high elasticity and strength. It feels incredibly premium, smooth, cool to the touch, and incredibly durable. The unique material properties of liquid metal allow for more precise control of stress during the folding operation. It is about the tactile experience. Apple wants that snap when you close it and that smooth resistance when you open it to feel like you are handling a piece of jewelry, not a plastic toy. Let's talk about the design, because what is an iPhone without its iconic look? We have heard rumors that this device might finally kill the notch and the dynamic island. The foldable iPhone is expected to come with an under-display camera. That means when you open it up, you are looking at a massive, uninterrupted canvas of pixels. No cutouts, no black bars, just pure screen. It fits the all-screen dream that Apple has been chasing for a decade. As for the name, things are a bit murky. iPhone Fold is the betting favorite, but frankly, it feels a bit vanilla for Apple. They usually like to brand things their own way. Maybe iPhone Ultra? iPhone Infinity? If you have any guesses on what they should call it, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your creative ideas. Now, we have to address the elephant in the room, the timeline. When can you actually buy this thing? The road to the iPhone Fold is paved with delays. The latest intel suggests the iPhone 18 lineup in 2026 is going to be a massive shakeup. We might see the standard iPhone 18 Pro ship in September as normal, but the iPhone 18 base model, or perhaps this new Fold, could be held back until March 2027. Introducing a folding iPhone into the mix pushes Apple into uncharted ground. They're moving from design validation to early production validation right now. This is the critical phase where theoretical blueprints meet the harsh reality of factory lines. They're currently running what is perhaps the most important test of all, the cycle test. Apple is testing whether this ultra-thin glass can stay intact after hundreds of thousands of folding cycles. We aren't talking about a machine folding it gently in a lab. We're talking about simulating years of daily abuse. Opening it to check a text, snapping it shut to end a call, half opening it to watch a video. If the promise of a crease-free experience fades after 6 months, the product is a failure in Apple's eyes. They are looking at different suppliers, including Chinese display makers, to ensure they have backups for the ultra-thin glass. They need to know that if they need 10 million screens, they can get 10 million perfect screens. And that brings us to the price. You might want to sit down for this. Innovation is expensive, and perfection is luxury. Industry experts are predicting that the iPhone Fold will cost between $2,000 and $2,500. Yes, you heard that right. That is the price of a really good used car or a high-end MacBook Pro. This pricing strategy makes it clear. This is not a replacement for your regular iPhone. This is a specialized work device. It is for the power user, the executive, the creator who needs a tablet in their pocket. By pricing it this high, Apple can use those exotic materials, the liquid metal, the custom Samsung panels, the precision titanium, without cutting corners. They're not trying to sell this to everyone, at least not yet. Production forecasts back this up. Apple is being very cautious. Initial estimates suggest they will produce about 8 to 10 million units in 2026. For context, Apple usually sells hundreds of millions of iPhones. 10 million is a drop in the bucket. It shows they are testing the waters. If the technology proves durable and people actually buy it, they have plans to ramp up to 20 or 25 million in 2027. This conservative approach allows them to refine the manufacturing process. They want to avoid a Galaxy Fold 1 situation where screens were breaking in reviewers' hands. They are building a diversified supply chain with Samsung on the panels and US-based companies like Corning and Amphenol supplying the glass and hinges. This minimizes risk. If one supplier fails, the whole project doesn't collapse. So where does this leave us? The iPhone Fold seems to have progressed from a wild experiment to a real device undergoing engineering verification. It is happening, but the ultimate test remains the durability. Can ultra-thin glass really look flawless after 2 years of use in freezing cold winters and hot, humid summers? Delivering a $2,500 device that develops a crease or a crack after a few months would be a PR nightmare and would contradict Apple's "it just works" philosophy. For us consumers, this is exciting. It represents the potential for foldable devices to finally fulfill their promise. We all want tablet-sized productivity in a phone-sized form factor, but we don't want the visual compromise. We don't want to feel like we are beta testing technology. The iPhone Fold isn't just about Apple entering a new market. It is about proving that the concept of a foldable phone is actually practical and durable enough for the mainstream. In my opinion, this is the most critical product launch for Apple since the original iPhone. If they nail the crease-free display, they win. They will set a new standard that every other company will have to scramble to meet. But at $2,500, it is going to be a hard sell for the average person. It feels like a status symbol, a glimpse into the future that only a few will get to hold initially. But usually, where Apple goes, the industry follows. If this works, the era of the flat slab phone might finally be drawing to a close. What do you think? Is a crease-free screen worth $2,500? Or is Apple too late to the party? I want to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the future of the iPhone, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Share this video with your tech-loving friends, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update on the latest leaks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.